Hey, it's me, boy. Eli.
Hey, it's Danny over here.
It's good to have you back, Daniel. Usually, if it here it means one of two things. It's going to be anime wise or gaming wise. I mean, specifically fighting games, but we're here to talk about something very interesting to happen in recent weeks, and that is the Oshinoko ending. I heard it's apparently crap. I haven't read it, but everyone's been crying about it. How do you feel about it, man?
I mean, I've never seen no so I can't really say. But I thought
Okay,
I
then
thought we were going to talk
we'll
about
talk.
Concord and how like it fell from grace heavily. Or
We already made that episode, Daniel. I'm sorry. I know
oh,
you're
did
still
we?
salty about not being on that.
Like, I just think it's weird because I mean, there's an Amazon Prime series coming out next month, and they're still having an episode on Concord.
It it's weird. It really is. But no. So that was the Sony side of things. This week we're actually gonna be talking about Xbox and specifically some of the more recent news to come out of good old boy Phil Spencer and just what to expect from the future of Xbox. And it's really weird. I mean, it's just a ongoing. I would probably say one step forward, two steps back that has become Xboxing now.
Yeah, 'cause, if you've been like watching the gaming industry like we do, you notice that Xbox every time they seem to make a step in the right direction, they somehow go back as well. And it's kind of odd. It keeps going on and on and on.
Yeah, no, they shot themselves so much in the foot that I don't think that foot is a it's a foot anymore. I don't just what happened there.
Yeah, 'cause, like the most recent example is the whole acquisition with Activision Blizzard, and
Yes.
yeah, and you're thinking, okay, we're going to get a lot more games now. Hindsight, yeah, but not really. Like we've been waiting for Perfect Dark for I don't know how long now. Some of the studios that we thought were going to do great, like Tango Gameworks, got shut down, but luckily they got revived by
And
another
that's gonna be like a
company.
main point of our discussion too. Tango
Yeah.
GameWorks.
Yeah, so
Because
like so yeah, you'd
yeah.
think they'll be doing something in the right direction, but something happens that's wasn't foreseen by any of us.
No. Especially off the high of a High Five Rush, which is still a fun game. I recommend everyone to play it.
Yeah, it's now on PlayStation as well. So although
Hmm.
PlayStation fans or players, just go ahead and try it out. It's a really
It's
fun
on
game.
PC. Is it on Steam yet or no?
It should be. Usually a
Yeah,
PC release is on available on Microsoft Store and Steam.
that's good. Um, but yeah, so the main thing that a lot of people talking about is because I don't recall what Phil Spencer exactly said. There's a bunch of stuff that was said, but the main thing that a lot of people have been latching onto is the idea of no more console exclusivities, or the idea of not every like game being solely for Xbox. Now that got a lot of people going. Does that mean Halo? Does that mean Gears? Does that mean uh anything else? Now, granted, we kind of foresaw something like this back when I mean, there's probably a game that's even earlier than that, but the one I'm about to mention is Indiana Jones and the what was it, the Full Circle or something? The
I
Perfect
think
Circle?
the Great Circle.
The Great Circle. I was thinking
Yeah,
about a
like
band, I'm sorry.
yeah, this whole trend started out actually back with Cuphead because it was supposed to be an
Yes.
Xbox exclusive, and then they're like, okay, like we can put it on Switch as well. Then later on, it did make it a PlayStation. And then eventually, it happened with other games as well. Like right now, like the latest game that to do this was Sea of Thieves.
Mm,
Yeah, it was mainly an
right.
Xbox exclusive, and now it's over on PlayStation. And interestingly enough, this is the first PlayStation game from Rare.
Is it? Oh, right, because it was Rare was always Nintendo and Xbox. Well,
Yeah,
Nintendo first, then Xbox.
yeah. So like, this is the very first PlayStation release for Rare. But
That's
fun
crazy.
facts aside, yeah. So we started with small games, small indie games like a Cuphead, eventually going bigger to what is eventually going to be Indiana Jones, which PlayStation won't be able to get until like I believe March or sometime in spring next
Yeah,
year.
sometime next year because Indiana Jones just come out this year. There's just a lot of games that. So this is the. I mean, so this is the ongoing thing about comments about Xbox, and this is just from a consumer point of view, is that they don't have console exclusivity, so there's no real reason to buy an Xbox, which, as much as the Xbox defenders will continue to say. sure, whatever or not. It's starting to become much more of a harder battle. It's more of a yeah, we get it, guys. Like just play the games already.
Yeah, and it sucks too because like I believe there needs to be a healthy competition between the two because that's why we're seeing like Sony being cocky with the PS5 Pro. It's like, oh, it's $700, man. We got the games. Give us
Hmm.
the 700 and 100 more for the disc drive. But aside from that, yeah, it's kind of hard to argue about the games too because the games that are exclusive that didn't win over to the PlayStation as well, they're not really enticing enough. Like I remember, I was excited for Starfield. It's like, okay, so this is probably the game that's going to get people, to come over on an Xbox again, play, and maybe for the future. I mean, it's another like Bethesda, RPG. It's nothing big like Skyrim. I mean, it's a huge game, but it wasn't
It's a
exactly
huge.
the top tier RPG we were
It
expecting.
still feels just it felt like it's just like Starfield feels like a game that was made like 20 years ago.
Yeah, because for some
Like
reason they just
exactly like in 20 like it's a
yeah, because
2011.
they're just using like I know they're using the same engine. I mean, they probably modified it a bit to make it more modern, but they've been using the same creative engine for I don't know how many years now. But
It still feels like a game from it still feels just like Skyrim. It just feels like Skyrim with like space mods. Now then, I'm not just trying to dog on the people that worked on the game. They did a very good job. Don't get me wrong. It's just like if you were expecting for something different, this was not it. I'm sorry.
yeah, so yeah, like I mean, as before, I mean, it's a it's fine for what it's trying to be. It just wasn't that big or exciting. And then before that, we had Redfall, which was going to be like a big multiplayer shooter game with vampires in it, and
Mhm.
yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was that wasn't even like I can't even come up with a good comparison. That's how bad it was. Like that just I can't. I'm stumbling on my words because I can't.
Yeah, like. It doesn't help the fact that the studio was pretty much forced to make the game too, because
Mhm.
they were told we want a multiplayer game, and that's that. So they pretty much half-assed it because they wanted to get it done and over with, which
Yeah.
I don't blame them. Because like if you're not passionate enough in the project to actually like put into fruition, I mean like there
Hmm.
is really going to be like that much. I mean you can make it decent, but you'll just know like it doesn't have the soul.
It doesn't. And the
And
games
then
that are good, they're just kind of okay. Like
I mean
a
you
lot
have
of
your
people were go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you have your safe bets from Microsoft. I mean, Halo, with Halo Infinite. Campaign's fine, it's great. Multiplayer wise, it feels like they don't really grasp the live service aspect of it. And then
No, and it's sad because the gameplay of it was is good. It's really good. Like
yeah,
I would always like jump back and play every once in a while. And I'm like,
it,
all right, I did enjoy this game. And
yeah,
then the monetization happens, and I'm like, all right, that's why I stopped.
yeah. And then
And
after that, we have Gears of War, which is now called Gears. Did Gear 6 come out?
no, because Gears 5 is Gears 5.
Oh,
And then there was at one point a Funko version that was like XCOM style.
and then there
Um,
was Gears Tactics, but I was trying to remember. It was like I don't know her name because I didn't play
Fantastic.
Gears 4. Well, I played a little bit, but I never finished it.
Yeah, because then there was Judgment, and because the new one is like a prequel,
Yeah,
hence like
E-Day.
yeah, E-Day, which
Yeah,
got a
and
lot of people hyped.
yeah, and I'm like quite excited for it too. I kind of want to go through like the entire franchise just to get myself like into the series.
Oh, it's
With the
fun.
more,
It's very, very dark sometimes. There are
I
times where I
mean,
felt very uncomfortable.
like I read through and played through like some dark stories, so I'm sure it'll be up my alley. And then yeah, those are your two safe bets for like the your average gamer. But then the other titles that I can think of that are good from Microsoft side, they're very niche in a way. Maybe not so
Yeah,
niche like Forza Horizon. It's a racing game. I never played it, but I heard great things about it. So, I'm sure
yeah.
like for racing fans, it's great. And then this one is especially niche. Microsoft Flight Simulator.
No, yeah, that is like super niche. That is so niche.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, it's
you,
cool that I can actually fly and crash into my house, which is really impressive, especially with all the different things you could do with it. But Yeah, like as much as impressive the game is with all like the technicality of it, like you can even look inside the cockpit and see all the switches and stuff in there
Hmm.
as well. Uh, I would say it's still a very niche title to
Yeah.
entice anyone to even buy an Xbox.
It's even funnier because like I've always felt like Xbox had a very good hold. Not a good hold, I'll say that. Okay, I'll pull back on that statement, but like a very decent hold on a lot of indie games because that was kind of like some of their big things was some of those indie games like Cuphead. Cuphead was
Hmm.
a big sell, but mo I mean most of the people would rather play it on PC because when it came out it was like on PC and Xbox. It was supposed to be Xbox only, but honestly, considering how much those guys have put a lot of their money, I think they put up their house. I think that was the story, right?
Now I don't remember, but I think it was the story for No Man's Sky because I remember like they were putting everything into that as well.
Yeah, no, those two go with the same thing where it's like they
Yeah.
put like a lot of money into it. The No Man's Sky started off pretty bad, but then like they bounced back. Cuphead blew it out of the water, man. I remember people were just like really loving that game, and like
Yeah.
everyone who wasn't a gamer knew about that game.
Yeah, like I was excited for it too because like I already had an Xbox because I bought it for KI and it's like, oh, Cuphead's coming out. That's a bonus for me. And I
Oh
played it
yeah.
and it was a lot of fun. I loved it.
It was. I couldn't finish it because I made too many bad decisions on costs,
Wait,
and I'm like, oh,
come on, dude. Dark Side Phil could finish that.
he could,
No,
he
wait,
could,
actually he did.
he did. But like again, I stand my point is that I made bad decisions, and I don't want to go back again.
No, no, you need to go back.
I need
There's
to go
even
back. I
DLC
know
now.
there's a new DLC, and I'm still bad at that game. I'm just terrible at that game. To be fair, it's one of those games that I would rather play with someone than just by myself.
It's actually debatable if it's harder with a friend.
Really? Was it? Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Now I remember now because your life is halved. Um, but no, to the point is, it's like Xbox has had these games, but there were never they either never were marketed well or just didn't exceed expectations for whatever reason. And granted, maybe because PlayStation has like a real good foothold on the on some very well-known established properties. Maybe that's probably because of why.
I mean, you could say that, but I feel like Microsoft they have their own like list of properties they're not utilizing as well. Like I know
That's
like
true.
for the most part, like people are saying you have Banjo-Kazooie, you mean make another Banjo-Kazooie game. It's like, yeah, that's true. Like they get all the other properties, especially from other companies as well. I mean, for example, Double Fine, I've been asking for another Brutal Legend, but they probably, want to make a different kind of game at the moment right now. And then even before then, there's some like let's see, I'm trying to remember some other games from the Xbox era that were very, very weird. I think it was called Fusion
Titanfall.
Frenzy, and then
Fusion Friends.
wait, was it Fusion Frenzy? Is I don't remember. I just remember like I think you were like in little like cages that you roll around in. It's like a multiplayer game. It's like one of those
Uh,
weird party games from the original Xbox.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't recall the name of it. You
I
might
might have
be
gotten the
right.
name wrong too, but yeah, and then like Blinks the Cat.
Oh, fuck, I forgot Blinks the Cat.
It wasn't that popular, so we only got one game and we never heard from the cat again.
For a while there, and just because I mentioned Titanfall, that was an Xbox exclusive at one point.
Like I probably argued against that since that's an EA game.
That is true. That did come out. Did it come out? Did the first one come out for PlayStation and Steam too, or no?
No, no, no. I believe the first one was exclusively for Xbox One, and
Yeah,
then Titanfall 2 was available on Steam and PC.
yeah, that's right. Because that was the thing about Titanfall 2 is that it was like it needed the support for it to continue. Got screwed over, and then like we got Apex
Mhm.
Legends, so someone come out happy, not me, but
Yeah, and it's that same too, because like even before like all the studios they know what they want to focus on. Even back then, they were pitching ideas to Microsoft. Hey, we got a cool idea for a game, and they were all shut down constantly. For example, like Rare, they brought up the idea of Killer Instinct 3 at the time. That didn't work out. They came up with some other ideas as well, like Conquer, like multiplayer game. I think it was called Going Medieval. Uh,
hmm.
there's more on Rare Replay if you want to check out like all the other stuff that Rare pitch. Like for as I mentioned before, they pitch all these different ideas, and they're like, "Well, we're making a cool camera that you can play games with your body, so you can just jump around and actually you jump around in the game. So how about you
Hmm.
make some games like Connect Sports and then another Connect Sports, and then Xbox One. It's like, okay, maybe we could do our own things. Like, nah, we need you to make one more like Connect game, some Connect Sports Rivals. And Rare, they were mostly designated to Connect stuff, and people did not like that they weren't able to do their own thing and forced to do like
No,
Connect games.
that's the sad part of it, and it's funny because there's that documentary about by Hold Back to Block about KI, and it was Ken Lobb, right?
Yeah.
Who he fought hard. He fought hard to get a KI game. And yes, I know I'm actually we're wearing KI shirt right now, the full board shirt, which is ironic. Um, but he fought hard to get that in. And that should tell you how kind of like the ecosystem was for Xbox at the time, especially because like that was the era of Kinect 360, right?
Hmm.
That was when they were the most popular, but that was also the time where they were very focused on like multiplayer games because that was the height of like COD, uh, and like other like FPS games.
Yeah, because like 360 was mainly known for like multiplayer stuff because everyone knows about Xbox Live and all the other different things. Hell, there's even multiplayer on Netflix.
God about that. That was like a that was just a thing.
Yeah, remember before we did watch parties on Discord and stuff, we had watch parties on the 360.
That was the crazy part. Yes, I do remember that now. But why didn't it? Well, they should have brought that back during that time.
They should
Um,
have, but they never
they
did.
should have. That would have increased a lot of
Like
sales.
the moment they actually started bringing that back, like some services like Prime Video, it was too late. Like pretty much like people were starting to slowly go back into to the public.
Hmm. Oh well. But no, like around. So I think this the thing about Xbox is that they still have yet to recover from that Xbox One announcement.
That is true. Like that announcement heavily like damaged their image, and people still feel it to this day. The fact from the first unveilment, the heavily focused on the TV aspects, like, oh, you can watch The Price is Right, or like I don't remember what it was such a forgettable show too. Like basically all I remember is like TV and TV this.
Yeah, then someone made a compilation of how many times it said TV and how many times it said game, and it was so I think it was like 60 times a minute or something. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. Like, and if you're wondering, like, well, you're talking about exclusivities because they don't have exclusives. The thing is, they kind of do. They're not really using it, and their attention is always going to something that really isn't needed. Hence why we mentioned Xbox One because what was the big attention during that, presentation, which was the TV. So like,
Hmm.
if there's ever like a new game to show up, everyone's like, oh, but I don't want the Connect to always start watching me and stuff, Big Brother,
Oh
all
yeah,
that
like
stuff.
the fact you have to have your Connect connected at all times, and
Mm,
it was trying to be like the first console to do online DRM too. Like you have to constantly turn on and connect online every 24
mm,
hours or else you get cut off.
yep. And Don Matrick said the worst things ever. And like they're still recovering from that. And like they're
Yeah,
still trying to get people to, support Xbox. And the sad part of it is they don't have that level of, I wouldn't say commitment, but I'll probably say, what's the word I'm looking for? Like support, right?
yeah, because you can even see with the games during the Xbox One time too. I remember like they announced I remember it was either a remake or reboot of Phantom Dust. People were excited for that, and then that got canceled. And then for me, the most devastating cancellation for me was their game with Platinum Games for Scalebound. I was so excited for that, and then
I
suddenly
knew
got
people
canceled.
who were thinking about getting it for Xbox for that game because it looks so cool.
Yeah, because like, oh my God, so my Xbox is not going to be a KI machine anymore. I'm going to play it for Scalebound too. And yeah, it just never happened.
Hmm. Even then, like there's still some games that considering now that are coming out that are being promoted by Xbox, but considering how the ecosystem is in Xbox, if they want those games to survive, they kind of have to go with, a non-console exclusivity. Metaphor for most people are like, oh, that's an Xbox game. I mean, technically yes, but also no.
Yeah, I mean they have the rights to market it, similar to
Mhm.
what they did with DMC5.
Yep. Similar to Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah, that's right. So I'll give it Xbox credit there. So they're doing the right thing. They realized, like they need to reach out to the developers, and now we're slowly starting to see more games come onto Xbox now, and
Hmm.
especially like some of the niche titles as well, such as Persona, which has mostly been known as a PlayStation, series, now like bridging out to other consoles. Right, like as we were like mentioning before, yeah, they're reaching out to developers and coming over to Xbox now, which they need to do because they need to show that uh because Xbox it was mostly known as I guess like a shooter console. Like when you think of Xbox, you think of games like COD, Halo, Gears, and then the occasional Forza Horizon for a while now because that's all you ever see coming out from Microsoft from a first party perspective. While with PlayStation, you got games like Ratchet and Clank, which is like a platformer shooter, Uncharted, a fun third-person action adventure game. The Last of Us, also another fun, adventure game. God of War, fun hack and slash, also an adventure game eventually in Norse mythology. Uh, but yeah, so the point, given is, you have all these, different kind of games coming from PlayStation compared to what Xboxes have, which is just another shooter, another shooter, another shooter.
And that's kind of the thing about it is that they don't have the like I said, they don't have that luxury to promote other because that wasn't the case in the 360 era. They had games that, like I've said it before, if you actually Google search like exclusive games from Xbox from a certain from this specific era, it's like, oh yeah, they did have that game, like Lost Odyssey, right? The one that
Yeah,
was made by the guys who did Final Fantasy,
yeah. And
and it
yeah,
was
there's
really
like a
good
bunch of
apparently.
games you didn't know. Like I forgot that Blue Dragon was on Xbox.
That's right. And that was like their Dragon Quest.
And then
And a
you want to get
lot of
even
people would
weird
love
than
that
that,
game.
if you like tending to animals and stuff like that, there was Viva Pinata.
That's right. I forgot about Viva Pinata.
Yeah, you see, and then there's some other games as well. Like they try bringing back Perfect Dark with Perfect Dark Zero.
Hmm.
Not as good at first, but it shows that they were trying. And then before that, I remember there was Cameo. I never
Mm.
heard of it until I played Rare Replay. It was a 360 game where you
I
play as
think I
like
called it Kameno for the longest time.
no, it was Cameo.
God dang. But yeah, no, they have, like I said, they have the resources, but the thing is, they never wanted to fully invest on it. And if they do, it's very rare. Like Psycho, they got Double Fine. They
Mm-hmm.
got Psychonauts. That, I mean, to be fair, they've already working on the fact on the Psychonauts too.
No, yeah, because it was crowdfunded, so of course they
Hmm.
had to go to the other platforms as well. Keep their promise
Yeah.
and stuff.
But like, it still came out for Xbox and it's an Xbox game.
Yeah, I mean
And
you're slowly starting to see that now. There's this game from I forgot what's the studio name. I think it was Compulsion. The guys that did We Happy Few. They were doing this game.
mm,
Oh God, I can't remember what was this game. But I'm excited for it. It has like this stop motion kind of look to it, kind of like Spider-Verse.
I know what you're talking about. There's also that new game that coming out that's
I need to look that up.
very like Mississippi South magic kind of thing. You know what I'm
Uh,
talking
uh,
about?
yeah, because I remember like in one of the Xbox showcases, like there was this female protagonist. She was just riding on this big, I think it was like a sea bass or some kind of
I
like
thought it was a prong, but basically it was an
wait, was it a
amphibian.
frog?
Basically, it's a creature you would find in the swamp. But yeah, no, that one I was like, yo, this looks so cool. It's got like that frame rate you would see in Spider-Verse, which is funny.
South of
Like,
Midnight.
yes, that's what it was. And then there's I can't remember the name of the game, but that's the game you were talking about. The one I was talking about was a different one. But to the point is that these games, as exclusive as they may seem, probably won't show up like for let me rephrase that. They will show up on other consoles, PC in like a year or two, which is sad, yes.
Mhm.
But if I'm being honest, Not that surprising. Not only because it's Xbox, because it's also happening with Sony.
Yeah, I mean, like they just gotta have like some more self-confidence with their games, man. Because
Hmm.
I mean, you look at PlayStation. I mean, they showed off Helldivers 2. It was a live service game. I didn't think I was gonna, get into that as when I heard it was a live service. Came out, heard great things. It's a great game. And then
The
afterwards,
democracy was a meme for months
oh yeah, yeah,
until they put it on PlayStation and it died.
yeah, yeah. And then what was the other one? Like Astrobot, Astrobot.
Oh my
it was like
God,
okay,
Astrobot blew out of the water.
yeah, like I had low expectations for that because like okay, I mean
That
it's
first
that
game was
little
fun.
yeah, it was a fun little cute game. That was on my PS5, but when I first got it day one, now he has his own like standalone game outside the PS5. Well, it's on PS5, but it's not pre-installed, but I digress. But yeah, like I thought it was like okay, fine, it's just a little cutesy game. Like, no, it's actually a great platform. I said, really now?
Yeah. And then the second one just like became a love letter to PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah,
like,
because
what?
yeah, like I need to eventually play that game as well, man. Because like I had fun
Hmm.
with the first one that was already on my PS5, but hearing that like they improved like so much and it's so amazing. Like there's they even added like some new like time attack modes now and everything.
Hmm. And like again, like it's I mean, you're right, they need more confidence in their games. I think partly another reason is because, they probably know that they're gonna have to, make money out of it. They might have to best just start just to make some of these games, cross-platform because that's probably the best way for them to survive right now. Because
Yeah.
they're probably not doing as good as they want to, even though they want to support a lot of these games. Because Indiana Jones, at first was questionable. Then that second trailer made people go like, okay, you know what? I kind of want to play it.
Yeah.
Like silly Nazi man go ha 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 kind of thing. Was like, all right, that was an instant buy for like a lot of people.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like they have their Xbox, showcases, and they could just give the occasional updates with the games and everything like that. But you don't really see it like that often. You probably might see it like when they're first announced, and then eventually a reminder's like, "Hey, it's coming out soon. It's also going to be on Game Pass. Be sure to look
Hmm.
out for it." And that's it. But like with PlayStation, you keep hearing them, talking about it like over and over and over again. Like
Hmm.
I I don't even think they did it for Concord, but so it's probably not be a good example to use that. But I remember like Deathloop, for example, was like the last Bethesda game on PlayStation. They marketed the hell out of that one because like hey, it's the very last Bethesda game before everything becomes Xbox exclusive now. So here's
Hmm.
Deathloop, here's Deathloop, here's Deathloop. Got to the point, I was like, okay, I get it. Deathloop is coming. You're kind of killing the
There
buzz.
really isn't that much of a strong marketing team on Xbox right now.
Yeah, and it like I know marketing, it costs money, to go out and market your games, but it should be easy, especially when you're doing it online. I mean, you just put up the kitchen video on YouTube, uh, Twitter,
Hmm.
I don't know, IGN. You know,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. You literally have like any places to go to go ahead and promote yourself in any way. I mean,
Hmm.
it's completely free just to shoot out a post online.
It is. Um, but yeah, I'm like I said, I don't blame them for not being as confident with it. I do think that essentially that they're going to survive, they're going to have to do it, and maybe at some point we'll start seeing more exclusives specifically to Xbox. But I think time exclusive is probably the only way they can naturally survive, not survive, but like ensure that these games are successful. And again, it's not surprising to me because even Sony's doing it too. Because you know, when is Rebirth coming out on PC?
Uh, Probably sometime in 2025. Basically, it's a console exclusive for 1 year, so it doesn't really
Mhm.
apply to PC.
There's
And it
also
gets you
the
wondering
this
where's remake on Xbox because it's a fun game.
it is that is true because
Yeah,
that
and
I talked about it last week with the last episode with Joe, and
mhm.
it's just like, oh yeah, they're upset that their game isn't selling well. I'm like, what do you mean it didn't sell well? It sounds like it sold well to me. Yeah, but it didn't meet expectations. What do you mean it didn't meet expectations?
Yeah, and like Square Enix actually to come out in a minute. It's like, okay, yeah, so doing the exclusivity deal with Sony for PlayStation, probably not the greatest thing for us. So we're gonna have to start, making our stuff multi-platform now. So hopefully, we'll start seeing more Square Enix stuff come on Xbox as well. I remember
PC
for the
too.
yeah, I remember for well, the first one's on PC, so we'll have to wait. So
Hmm.
they're just waiting for Rebirth, but
Hmm.
for the longest time, Kingdom Hearts was only on the Epic Game Store, and no one wants to touch that. I don't even like use Epic or anything like that. And then they said, "Hey, it's coming to Steam now." It's like, oh my God, now it's on PC.
Now it's on
Yeah,
PC.
and you get an
Yeah.
exclusive, you get a cool exclusive like Steam Keyblade in there as well.
Mhm.
But
Nice.
which I don't even think Epic had, which is surprising.
No.
But but yeah,
Every other console release for the game came out with a little keyblade.
yeah, even a Nintendo Switch, and that was just
Hmm.
was a cloud version.
Hmm. I mean, yeah. The thing about Xbox is that they kind of, well, for one, it's either they need some better management people around, because whether it be Phil or someone in there needs to like just rethink about what their strategy is really. And that's kind of the issue that Xbox always have, in my opinion, because ever since, like we said, Xbox One, they can never escape that. It's been a
Mm,
downward spiral.
yeah,
They've been climbing back up slowly, but like every once in a while, you just happen to put your hand on the wrong side of the rock and your hand slips. You
yeah,
know.
yeah, and they're doing this weird thing too. Like they're marketing themselves as you can play Xbox on anything. You can play it on your phone. You got a Fire Stick. You can play Xbox on that. You got a smart TV. You can play Xbox on that. You can play at Xbox on a Steam Deck if you wanted to. Trying to promote the Game Pass is available on almost any the device that could stream the games on.
Hmm.
And then recently they I don't know if you heard about it, like they recently confirmed that they are working on an Xbox portable gaming device, which probably won't be seeing until like a couple more years, but it's
Yeah,
under the works.
and it's one of those things like, guys, and like I said, Xbox is doing good in some aspects, but they always got like a step back behind on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
so like we're seeing the games like South of Midnight and some of the other stuff like from Double Fine, all the other studios that they bought as well.
it's, well, they don't technically own like Atlas and Sega, but Metaphor has been promoted as an Xbox game, and that game is doing bangbusters.
No, seriously, like I didn't really see a lot of advertising from Xbox themselves, but apparently, but despite that, it sold 1 million copies very quick, like quicker than
Part of that,
any
I'm pretty sure
Sony
it's because of the
game.
music.
Well, I mean, it's Atlas; they're gonna kill it with the music.
Oh hell yeah, they are.
Yeah, and it's surprising because like Persona, it's like the most well-known franchise, and they usually sell games quick. But this is the game, a completely brand new IP. Like no one has ever played it, so they don't know what it's like.
You're right, and that's kind of the weird thing about it. It's good. It's new Atlas Persona game. Games made Persona Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah,
There's
like
a
this.
third game, isn't there?
Like no, it's Shin Megami Tensei and then Persona, but yeah, like these are well-established franchises, and to have a brand new game that's completely different from SMT or Persona because they're more grounded into modern time Japan, and this one being a high fantasy RPG, which is like
Oh, and it's
completely
hella fantasy, dude. I'm
no,
playing it
yeah,
right now, and I'm just like, we got airships, but they're not airships, but they're airships.
yeah. So they're going to the high fantasy route that where they never done before, as far to my knowledge, except maybe with Etrian Odyssey. So
Yeah.
so it,
Also, monsters designed based off. God, I just read his name. I gotta look it up again. You remember that painting of hell? Um, Bosch. It was the Bosch paintings of hell. Like, the little egg guy.
I think so, yeah.
Do you remember in Berserk when Griffith did the whole thing with bringing magic into the world? How there's like every photo of the God hand and all that stuff.
Okay, now I'm getting
There
it.
you
Like there,
go.
there you
There you
go.
go.
I was
See,
thinking like,
we're nerdy like that. We gotta make
yeah,
specific references.
yeah,
But no, yeah, yeah. And Metaphor is just a really fun game. It plays almost similar, but it's still different. And like you said, this is a game that's like, Xbox didn't hype it up that much, but they did enough to be like word of mouth,
yeah.
which is good.
Yeah, because it's Atlas. Like Atlas, they're known for making great RPGs.
Mm. Like honestly, I If that was the case, I don't blame them because it's like, how do we market this? Because I have a hard time considering what they talk about. It's like, okay, how do we market that? Kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think we're getting close to the end here, mostly because I don't know what else we can add on to the conversation. But yeah, I think Xbox, this is not something surprising. I think this is bound to happen to Xbox with a console exclusivity. Yes, they do have good games. They did not market well or they don't come out as well as people hope for. But, you know,
Yeah, they just
it,
got to get out there, man. Like even with Nintendo, like I still remember some of the games that I didn't really like had that interest in. Like I remember, I think it's like a weird multiplayer like puzzle battle game, Sushi Strikers. I still remember
say
that
sound
because they
familiar.
because they put into that. I still remember Codename Steam, a game that barely anyone ever played on the 3DS. And I still remember, like, yeah, it's from the guys that did Fire Emblem. It's I still remember that because they actually went out and put it out there, like, yeah, this game is coming out.
Yeah, and so like yeah, I think Dan, I think you said it the best. They need to, have more confidence in their games. Granted, again, I think the way the gaming ecosystem is right now, uh, console exclusivity is just kind of a hard thing to do
It is.
right now.
I feel like I would blame like the fact that games are getting so much bigger and bigger in the AAA space
Hmm.
because they got to show off that it's big now, and it's taking so much longer to actually make those games now. Well, Nintendo is like, yeah, we're still rocking with old hardware, but it's still amazing. We still got games like Tears of the Kingdom, like doing things that you probably thought you would never get to see unless you were on a PS5. But we got to work on the Switch.
Yeah, we're still using good old Unreal Engine here.
Yeah.
Still works.
So side note, please let there be more AA games. AA games are good.
Yeah, you don't have to go that hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good way to end the episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, be sure to follow us on our social medias, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Geek Centurions. And there's a link tree on Instagram for you to check out our video episode of this for this. Um, especially if you want to put a face to the voice. And a all the podcasts that we're officially part of, like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, all the like, and any form of support, there is a picture. And yeah, it's been me, your boy Eli.
Been Daniel.
And yeah, hopefully Xbox can pull themselves out. It's a tougher battle than we've always said.
I mean, I
But
wanted to see it. I want to see him do good. I want her to do good.
yeah, yeah, hopefully we'll do good. But anyways, you guys have a good one. Peace.